Okay, so we're on live right now. So really, I wanted to have a more so of a conversation where it's not just me talking specifically, but I am going to make some of my points and suggestions. But I am also going to kind of turn this on, get a um, kind of hear y'all, hear what you guys think, what you're feeling, um, and vice versa. But okay, so me and some of the other, I'm trying to make sure I'm in the middle, some of the other leaders. So we utilize three-way calls, and it's been very beneficial for our businesses. So, I've been in for about 18 months now. So I've seen, it go good, it go bad. We've tried different things, different techniques to try to get a good feel for the best ways to talk to people that are interested in our business. And for me personally, three-way calls have probably been the best route. Um, Normally, if there are times that I still actually call somebody in for a three-way call with myself, but I think it's very imperative that, especially if you're new, that you're doing a three-way call when you're talking to somebody about your business. There's a book that I read, and I've been reading, and I kind of go by. It's called Your First Year in Network Marketing, and it's written by Yarnell. And he even states, or she states, that when you first talk to your family and your friends about the business, all you need to just say is just a little bit. Other than that, you don't speak it, because he says you need to have the training and all the information necessary to talk to somebody about your business the right way. And so for me, the training is not the fact that you know exactly like the steps to success. Doesn't mean like you know what the business is about. It's a training on how to talk to people. So there are a couple different things that I use when I'm on three-way calls. So most of you have the book GoPro. So I do use some of the principles that are in GoPro when I'm talking to people. I also use the color personalities. So when you're looking at the color personalities, it's more than just you knowing what each color means. You also have to know how to talk and to relate to each color. And then three, the other thing that I use is experience. And it's just the fact that, I've talked to so many people about this business. I kind of have a feel for myself and how I'm talking to people, how to better the situation. Or, just, it's kind of really hard to explain unless I'm talking to a person. But those are kind of the key factors that I use when doing a three-way call. And so another thing that I wanted you guys to know is, hold on. What did she just say? I don't know if I can do that. So another thing is the people that I talk to the most and three-way with. Angela calls me like every other day, and we do a three-way call with some people. I talked to Kanitha. Those are two of the most frequent people that call me to do three-way calls with them. And those two are some of the top enrollers in my whole organization. So I kind of want everybody to know, like, three-ways aren't just for new people. Everybody is using this method because it has been very, very beneficial. And for me, I still think it's really important for pretty much everybody in my downline to use a three-way, because even though you've been talking to somebody for a long, let's say you've been talking for the next couple months, or you're still like they're hearing you, but you just feel like if they hear somebody else, it'll just be different. And I think that that's very true. Excuse me. When different people talk, people can relate to different personalities. They can see maybe a different part of the business that they didn't see before. So having these three ways to me is very vital. And excuse me, I don't know why I have this indigestion. But another thing about three-way calls are, I feel like, usually when we're getting a person in on a three-way, it's pretty much to seal the deal. So when you are talking to the person, besides, if you're not brand new, this excludes you. But typically, if you've been in the business long enough to where you can talk about some of the business and explain it, that is your job to kind of talk to them and explain the business to them before you get them on a three-way call. Then after that, when they get on the three-way, it's just basically for you to bring somebody else in that has like a different perspective or is going to speak on an experience, or you kind of just have a feeling for the person that's on the three-way call, kind of what else they need. So I'm just going to use Kenitha for an example. So there are times that she'll call me, or she'll call me beforehand, and she'll be like, okay, Terry, I want a three-way with this potential. She has a red personality. And she'll say that to me, and that lets me know how to take the conversation. So once she gives me that info, when I start talking, I know what's important to that person and what's not. So some of this stuff, it's still going to take time because you're still going to have a feel to kind of understand and go with the person. But just for instance, if they're red, they are very driven, they're self-motivated, they want to know, how did they get to the money. So somebody that's red, I don't have to be so detailed about the compensation plan. I don't have to be detailed about how we get to the money. They just need to know the money is there and they can get it. So when you have a red person on the phone, red potential, I think it's good to have somebody on the call with you that is of, not necessarily, it doesn't matter about the rank, but it's of the bank. So if you know a person has got a certain type of bonus before, that is going to appeal to a red personality more so than, just anything else. So a red personality wants to hear about somebody else's success because they're going to envision themselves being able to do it. So that's just kind of a clue that I use when I'm talking to a red. When I'm talking to a blue, I can kind of hear because, they get excited about certain things. So I'm going to raise my excitement level to talk about certain things with the blue as well. I'm not going to go so far in depth with detail because that's not really necessary. They just have to know that this is a fun situation. But those are just kind of some key things that I wanted to point out. Trying to think. Since I don't have this all written down, I just got back from Memphis. But does anybody right now, while I'm still trying to get my train of thoughts, I am a green, so I have to be able to analyze and process myself. So does anybody have any questions or comments while I'm still trying to get my thoughts together? Nope. Kalicia? Whoa. You have any comments, Kalicia?
Yeah, I was trying to look. I said a bad word. I was like, oh, can they hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I know I look crazy. Hey. Okay, so this is just a really quick question. Terry, I got a potential distributor. When should I do the three-way call? I talked to her today. I met her at Walmart. When should I do a three-way call? How do I set it up? Like, I just met her at Walmart today. Do I just get her phone number and call her this afternoon? Like, what do I do?
So typically what most of us do, we go ahead and it's going to be basically, I let her set it up. So I'm not going to just tell her, okay, I'm calling you tonight at 7 o'clock. No. I'm going to let her decide when's going to be the best time for me to be able to talk to her about the business, with one of my partners. So I'm going to let her know we're going to three-way call, though. It's not like a pop-up, somebody's just hiding on the phone and then just start speaking. That's not what we do. But I'm going to ask her when is a good time for me to call her with one of my partners so we can go more into the business. So when she sets that time, that's going to be when I call her. Typically, they call the three-way person first. It just kind of depends. But, you might want to call who's going to be on the three-way first, and then you call the other person. But even before that, if you want to, like I said, if you already met the person and you kind of had a feel for how she is, you can kind of just let them know kind of your thoughts or what she was talking about at first. But as soon as you get them on the call, if it's your potential, you need to edify the person that is doing the three-way. And with that being said, is you need to let them know who it is. Just don't say, oh, we got Jane on the phone. Okay, Jane. No, you need to say, okay, this is Jane. She is my emerald leader. She has been blowing this business out the water. She's doing awesome. I really just wanted you to be able to talk to her because let's say maybe I'm a little newer, but Jane has a really good, experience with the company. So you edify the person that's getting on the three-way call. And it still goes vice versa. Of course, I don't never say like, if somebody says, oh, we're getting on the call with Terry, most of you guys know I'm kind of modest. I don't really care about the rank and all that. But I understand that people do need that. So when you say you're getting on the call with me, when I go back, typically, I'm just going to use Kenitha for an example because like I said, Kenitha and Angela are the ones that call me the most. I'll go back once I'm talking and I'll say, and I'll also edify Kenitha during the call, letting that person know she's a great leader. She's been busting her tail in this business. It would be amazing for you to get on her team. It's just a back and forth. You have to show that person, for one, that we're supportive. People want that type of support. So, show the support and also give the person props. So the person that's calling you, you're going to edify them. The person that is the three-wayer, if that's what you want to call it, you're going to also talk about the person that put you on this phone call. So like Clecia said, you basically, if you get the number today, you can tell her, when's a good time for me and my business partner to call you to talk to you more about this business. And like I said, if you're brand new, sometimes I do the calls a little different. So I do have some newer distributors, and when they call somebody on three, if they get somebody that wants to talk to them about the business, I immediately tell them, do not start talking. Call me on the phone. And then because that person is new, I do explain like the whole business pretty much for them. And then at the same time, they're getting to hear how I talk to somebody. So it's not like a forever, three-way type of situation, but it still is like training and it goes back and forth. And there's also times that I have actually, after the three-way call was over with, I'll call the distributor back on the phone maybe a few hours later, just depends on what we're doing, and I kind of will go over the call with them, and I will let them know why I said what I said, why I was asking certain questions, because sometimes you can't really tell how a person is or who they are, so I have to go deeper and ask you specific questions to try to figure out what your passion is and why this business will be good for you. I'm not just going to try to sell somebody and get them to sign up on the team. That's not what it's about. People can feel when you're just trying to sell them. You have to be able to hear them, hear what they're passionate about, hear why they would want to join this or what's going on. And that just made me think. Another thing that I use, if you go into GoPro, I believe it's like around page 83, 86. No, that might not be the page. That's another thing. But if you go into GoPro, Eric Worre has a section called Feel, Felt, Found. And that is a very key tool that I kind of use. So when people have rejections and reservations, sorry, my daughter just woke up, rejections and reservations, you use this to talk to them, to let them know and reassure them about them deciding to make the decision to join your team. Next question, Calicia. Or Kenitha, is Kenitha still here? Kenitha, do you have anything to say since you do use calls yourself?
I'm still here. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Just, for me, even though, I have had, success with the business, I never feel like that I don't have to get somebody else with it. I want to make sure that I am successful, and there's leaders in the business that have had more success than me, so I would typically let that person know. I ask for the number first. I will send them the party pad presentation video first, and then I would say, I'm going to call you on the phone, the three-way, with my business partner, Terry, or whoever it is. And so, yes, it's very important for you to edify, the person that your business partner, and the person who your potential. You want to make a compliment about the potential as well. So I do that as well. I may say, hey Terry, I wanted you to meet Sheila, she's, she's like, she's going to be great in this business. She's an awesome mom. Just say something, compliment the person as well. But I use three ways all the time. Rarely do I do the call myself, because for most people, they need to hear that it's more than just you in the business. So that's why I do the three ways, and also let them know that they're going to have a great support system as well.
Okay. Anybody that's on, do y'all have questions yet? Comments?
I got a question. So, my face is all red. So, how do I know if I can do a three-way call with my distributors in my downline? Like, I got a downline. I want to know, when can I be the person that they call for the three-way? Or, if it ain't me, who do we call?
So, why you gotta do your eyes like that? So that is also kind of like distributor specific. For one, and this is just me speaking on me. When I call somebody in, I'm calling, like, I don't want to say reinforcements, but you know what I'm saying. I need somebody that's going to be able to make a point or give validate something that I said. So for me, I want, let's say I signed up three distributors before. I'm not going to call somebody who signed up 3 or 4 distributors, because I need somebody that's like taking it to another level for me. So, I think that is important and another thing, just because you're signed, let's say you signed 4 distributors, you probably have talked to 40, 50 people, which I understand that it's a numbers game. But at the same time, let's say somebody that has, if it's still a numbers game, basically what I want to say, you have to fail to succeed. So a person that has signed more distributors, typically, hold on one second. Okay, sorry, I got a random message on Facebook. Okay, so personally, a person that has signed more distributors, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're better, but they may have, tweaked and found out what's good for them, like how to get the person to sign up. That's not always the case, but I want to say that's like the majority of the time. So when we're on three-way calls, like I said, we're trying to close pretty much a distributor. So a person that has had greater success in doing that, for me, is more qualified to speak on a three-way call. So, like Lisa was saying, okay, you have a downline. Like I said, there's more factors that come into that because, I'm trying to think of somebody's downline right now at the top of my head. I can just use my husband as an example. Yes, Dorian has a downline. Dorian's downline might be 40 people. But at the same time, I place those people in his downline. So because they're in his downline, my husband is not qualified to be on the three-way because I've placed all of his people. But this is, that's a little bit different. That's a spouse. But you know what I'm saying? So it's a difference just being in a position versus you actually have signed up a lot of people. So like I'm saying, for me, I do look at, it's not all about that number because you can still be a great leader and not have signed everybody. But I still look at how long, like your experience with talking to distributors pretty much. That plays a key role in it all. So with that being said, how long have you been in the business? How many people have you talked to? Distracting me, all of that makes sense. Sorry, I can't even deal right now. I'm not gonna call that person out, private messaging me, making me laugh. But
Tanika, stop private messaging Terry.
So, there's more to it because I'm sure when you guys get on a three-way because you're really excited, you just got somebody interested in your business, you want that person pretty much to sign up, right? So you want to make sure the person that you're three-weighing with is going to be able to get that person to see the benefits of this business and be ready to sign up. So, what other? Oh, did you have? What else did you say, Khaleesi, about that?
I think you pretty much answered it. I think the whole point of what I'm asking though is because we have a lot of people. I know, especially in my downline, for a fact, we got some people that are moving really quick, and they're signing people really fast. And it's nothing personal. That it's, I'm saying, hey, let's call them on three-way, and then they're like, well, my downline has some people that they want to sign. I want to call. They want to be on the three-way call. I think ideally, what Terry is saying is, you haven't called enough people and been shut down and made enough mistakes in your conversation and what you said wrong and how to, fix it and change it. Yes, you're signing people, but eventually you're going to reach a point where it's like, I need more. Like for me, for instance, I have the personality, boom, I can pretty much talk to anyone. But guess what? I don't have the brains, and Terry has that. So when I'm getting into a conversation with someone and I'm talking to them, let's just say they happen to be green, which I do run into from time to time, and they're asking me questions about the metabolic breakdown of what the wrap is doing, and I'm on there by myself, I'm going to be looking like, well, and I've been in the business a year and some months, and things still come up that stump me. I still run into people who have a different mentality or mindset. So it just helps having a person that's maybe opposite of you or may have accomplished those questions already to be on the call. Now, for the most part, I would say if you are emeralds and above, you pretty much talk to a lot of people, because you got to think that emerald's got about 15 to 20 people in their downline. More than likely, they're working towards diamond. They've talked to hundreds. I know I've talked to hundreds. I probably talked to thousands of people. If you ain't talked to thousands of people, then you haven't run into all those different types of personalities. If you've been in for 30 days, then you probably haven't run into it. It's not anything personal. It just gives you an extra spin on it. It's like having a different type of subject matter expert on the phone with you. And I think what happens is we get so excited that we found a person and they want to sign up, and we're like, ooh, I got a potential. And then you talk to them about what you know, and then they're like, okay, well, you don't know how to roll them back in. You don't know how, you just haven't learned that. You don't know how to reel them back in when they start to drift off to whatever land they might decide to go to. And we've actually worked on it. We failed at it. We've studied it. We've gone all over the place learning from different leaders about it. And now we're at a position where we can get on the phone and kind of have the tricks of the trade to help you and help us at the same time. So, I mean, I still call people. Angela calls me. Angela has the exact same, to me, outgoing personality as I do. She still calls me on three-way calls. And she's enrolled a lot of people. She still calls me. It's still just better to have somebody else equally as excited on this call, and it just doesn't make you the crazy person that loves this business. You're not the only person that's like, they heard it from. Like, wait a minute, there's more of you? Yeah, there's like thousands of us. And I've experienced things different than Angela. So I'll give you an example. She had a potential that she called the other day, and the girl was like, well, I'm not really sure if I have time. I got kids, my husband, I'm doing school, da-da-da-da. She had 1,000 things on her plate. And Angela was like, well, you know what? Khaleesi might be able to tell you how she does it with her 5 kids, her husband that's there half the time and half not, and the fact that she's homeschooling, and they live in a state that they're not from. Like so many different variables. Now, had I not been on the call, Angela would have been like, well, I got my 1 kid or my 2, and, my husband's not really a factor. It's just different. I have a different story. I have a different way that I work my business, just like Terry has a different way she works her business. I can never give advice on how to do this job with a 40-hour career. I don't have one of those. So I can't talk to you about how I work my 40-hour job and do it works. I can't. I don't know it. So at the end of the day, no matter what, I need that type of person on my call. And I think that's what we want to get out there, is the dynamic of having another person on the call, not you're not good enough yet. Like a lot, I think people take it personal. Like, well, what do you don't think I don't know what to say? Well, actually, no, not yet. And it's fine. But I've said all the dumb stuff you already said. I've already done that. So let me help you. And that's pretty much where we're at with it. We're not necessarily telling people that they can't, but let us help you. And I'm willing to get on a call with every single person that has a person that's interested. I will get on a call with you with a loyal customer. I don't care. I will do that, and I'll help you, and we can talk after it's over. I've trained a lot of people after their call is over. This is what you said. This is what you should not ever say. So,
right. And like you're saying about just having people on the phone. So let's just say you're a person that likes to be like, you want to talk by yourself. You don't even want to do a three-way. Like she was saying, when you have somebody else on that call, there are strength in numbers. So if it's more than one person validating like what's going on, how the business works, that is actually for real, it sounds better than it's just you. So, you know, I definitely feel like in my video that I made that got so messed up, it's just stuck on my phone, but I still feel like everybody should utilize three-way calls. And I'm saying everybody. There's nobody that gets an exception, not in the whole down line. Nobody. So there should still be three-way calls because, like you're saying, somebody is going to bring in a different perspective than what you have. And and you kind of have a feel, or if you don't, you kind of know your potential, kind of like their background, who they would relate to. And so at the same time, like we were saying, you want it to be close. That's the point. So, you know, most of the three-way calls that I've got on, besides one person that was supposed to sign up today, the other three-way calls that I've done, you know, as soon as we hang up, the person will go and sign up with that person I've been on a three-way call with. So, you know, it's like I said, it's been really, really good. And at the same time, I'm going to just speak about one three-way call. There was somebody that, you know, she had a good job. So, excuse me. So money wasn't an issue. And I was hearing that while we were talking. So if you kept on talking about the $500 extra a month, you were going to lose that person. And it was like, it was going down. I could feel it on the phone, and I knew I had to change what I was saying or just how I was explaining stuff because they were becoming uninterested. So as soon as that happened, one of my key things is to ask the person, if they're like, I don't care about the money, I'm going to ask them, what are they passionate about? If you didn't, and I usually will ask them, if you could do whatever you wanted to do and you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do? And so then once I say that, it turns it around because now we're talking about what are you going to do? So with that being said, you know, the person, you know, they wanted to, they had some like charity work things they wanted to do. They had, I can't remember what else. But when I turn it around and talk to them about, okay, so this business could give you that freedom to not have to worry about paying your bills, not have to worry about your job anymore, that allows you to completely just do what you love to do, does that sound like something that you would be interested in? Because like I said, there are people that don't need the money, but they do want that freedom to be able to do what they truly desire and what they're passionate about. So, and like I said, I don't know if it would just depend on how many people that you talk to, and for you to know when the call was changing and it was becoming a bad call. Like the person pretty much sounded like, I'm not signing up, not even a little bit. Versus after I got off the phone, that person signed up and, sorry, my daughter's poking me. And then, what do you want? And then, okay, Noel. And then, you know, it was, I'm not going to say saved, but I was able to explain the business in a way that they got it, and it was just better. Because to me, there's so many positives about this business, but you have to find how to make it work in somebody else's life. Because what it works is for Terry isn't the same what it is for everybody else. But everybody, to me, could use this business to do something that they're trying to do. Felicia, whatever, next thing you're going to say, let me run and get this drink for Noel.
Okay, while she's gone, let's talk about her. All right, you guys, somebody get off mute and ask me a question. I need some interaction. Y'all know I don't want to talk. I want y'all to talk to me. Somebody say something already. Hurry up, she's back. Don't tell her what I said.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Lauren,
well, I was gonna ask Fran. Fran.
Oh, you gonna ask Fran?
Those when we did that 3-way Google Hangout, do you feel that was beneficial for you that night with talking to your friend and she signed up? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah, that was fun.
I definitely think it was fun and extremely beneficial because, again, like I have my reasons for why, but she's gonna have her own reasons. And explaining the business in like a neutral aspect to where it reaches everybody is great. And it was definitely like a learning experience for me, even though I was trying to get somebody to sign up as a distributor.
Right. And I almost feel like it depends on the person. Let's say if I'm on a 3-way with Kenitha, I'm not the only one solely talking. So just so you guys know that I'm not the sole talker. She talks, and if I need to interject, I will. That's the same thing. The other day, me and Angela were talking to somebody, and she started kind of talking about something else. Like she was she was excited, but she also was excited about when I said one thing about, we might have talked about the $500 bonus. She got really hyped. So then it's like a light went off. You know, if I just start talking a little bit more about myself, how much money I've made, she was just like, oh my God, really? Like, you know, so at the same time, when you have that person on the phone that can say that and be honest, you know, I don't want to have a 3-way like, okay, I make $10,000 a month. And then it's like they join the team and they hear me talking, and let's just say that I'm an executive distributor. They're going to be like, you're a liar. You didn't make $10,000 a month. You know, so anytime I'm speaking, I want it to be the truth. And that's why it's beneficial. No, that's why it's beneficial to have other people.
My boy in the building. Live in effect. Ladies love him. He had his shirt off. I seen a little nigga.
Sorry. Oh my God. Don't be trying to hide your face.
What you say? I was getting dressed. What's going on?
Oh my God.
What I miss?
We're talking about how everybody needs to be on 3-ways, just because it's always good of having that extra, having more than one person, having different perspectives, having, you know, people that can back you up when talking to your potential.
Okay.
Question?
I was just gonna ask a random person. I asked Lauren, but because I just saw her face.
What'd you say, Policia?
I didn't have a real question. I was just gonna ask you something random. Okay. Have you done a 3-way call? I'm pretty sure you have, right?
I have not done a 3-way call.
Oh, you haven't done one yet? Okay.
At all.
Great. Perfect. Okay, so let me ask you this. Have you actually talked to a person on the phone about the business after they've been a potential?
After they signed up?
No. Before they signed up, just you talk to them. Like, let's say you met them, they became a potential distributor, and now that they're potentially a distributor, but they kind of gave you the runaround, and then you never really heard from them again.
Yes.
Okay, what if I told you we could easily alleviate that by doing more 3-way calls? Would that make you more excited about having 3-way calls?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and I'm not trying to point you out or anything. I'm just, because it happens to me too. Literally, it happens to me. I talked to somebody, I met her. Matter of fact, I did a meeting at a coffee house. We met a girl. She said she was coming back we made the mistake of not getting her information, and then we never got to make that connection. And I think what happens with those three-way calls is we make a connection, and then not only with just you, the girl that I just met that's trying to get me to join her business, but with her friend that lives in another city, who's a mom too, or even, you know, Keith, he's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I saw his picture on Facebook. I definitely want to get in this business. Like, I think building these relationships on the three-way calls is what is happening, making the connection. So I want to challenge everyone who hasn't done one yet to find somebody, make them your potential, find one, and as soon as you realize they could be possibly interested in joining the business, get them on a three-way call. And then just see how that works. I'll tell you what else it does for me. It gives me an idea on how to follow up with them. Like, let's say we end the three-way call and they're like, well, I just don't have the money right now. Well, let's be friends on Facebook. Throughout the week or two, maybe throughout the month, we'll be talking about setting aside a couple of dollars, whatever, $10, $25. Hey, you know, it's getting around Christmas time. I know you're ready to go ahead and start this business. I can remind you, Lauren. Hey, Lauren, whatever happened to Kristen that we talked to that one time? It's been a couple of weeks. You think she's ready to sign up again? But if we never did the three-way call, I probably forgot about Kristen. I didn't even know she existed. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's really good to do those three-way calls. I'm trying to see who else is on here. Who is that? Felicia. Mira. ¿Qué tú haces? Okay. Have you done a three-way call yet? Did you say yes or no?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so same thing for you. I want to challenge you, since you haven't done one yet. The next person that you talk to, I think it was your mother-in-law or somebody you told me about, that could probably be really...
Her best friend.
Yeah, she could be good at this, right?
The thing about her is that she's a grandma, and she told me she works day and night, and she's tired, and she don't really have time to even sell. So I told her, okay, I understand and all like that, but I told her that to look into it, and if she was interested, let me know. And if she wanted to tell her daughters about it.
So if you had a person on a three-way call, like myself, or maybe Terry, or even Angela would be a good one for this. We got grandmas on our team, but you might not know that we got grandmas on our team because you're still new. So I would be able to say, oh my God, I got to hook you up with Georgianne. She's a grandmother too. And she stays really busy with her side job of painting and doing art and stuff like that. But I think that you might really be able to relate to some of the other. Terry's mom is a grandma. My mom is a grandma. These women are on the team. So because you're new, you don't know we got grandmas. So you're just thinking, okay, well, I understand.
Yeah, I actually have a grandma that wants to sign up. She just told me to get back with her in a week because she's going through a hump right now. But she says she's really interested and she wants to sell the product. She also wants to do it. And I was like, awesome, because, she's got experience in sales and also in cars. So she'd be perfect. And then her daughter is going to sign up to be my loyal customer. I'm just waiting to get my too. Me and her did a deal where I told her, she told me, okay, I'll sign up and be your loyal customer if you be my potential customer for Mary Kay. I was like, sure, yeah, we'll do a trade. And that's exactly what we did. I'm just waiting for her to get the money in her card, and she's signing up. She already got a wrap, and she was excited about it. She said she wants to order way more.
Okay, so let me tell you this, too. Terry, are you still there, Terry?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, so Terry, if you're on a three-way call with Felicia and her friend that's the Mary Kay lady, what would you talk to her about?
Mary Kay. The person that sells Mary Kay?
Right.
I would ask her how long she's been in the business. I would basically talk to her about her business. And then I would also be able to talk about some people that I've seen leave Mary Kay and come to this business.
See,
Okay.
when I first talked to her, she just barely joined. Right when I joined, she barely joined Mary Kay, but she's in a, how would I say, she's in a tie to having to do it because of her personal relation. So, and I told her, I was like, well, you can also do It Works because she works. She works in the hospital. She's a multi-tasker, like big time. And I told her, I was like, well, girl, whenever you're ready, I'm here. Just hit me up and like that, and I can get you started on It Works. And I was like, and you'll be making a lot more money than you are at Mary Kay.
It's funny you said that because remember when I paused and I had that really weird message? That was somebody from Mary Kay messaging me some questions. And I'm kind of responding back to her right now. And that's what I'm about to ask. She asked me, how am I doing? And I'm great. How are you? And how is
Right.
your business?
Yeah.
Right. How many eyeshadows paid off that car over there? Okay, I'm gonna quit. Anyway, so okay, Felicia, basically what we're trying to say or trying to explain to you is we have more experience talking to other people who have done this before. So we know how to and get it going towards her being more apt to joining you. So it would be beneficial to have a third person who has that experience on the call with you. So if you say, hey, I would love to call you back. I think I have some friends in my business or some business partners that can tell you a little bit more about our business. And they know a little bit about Mary Kay too. I mean, what's she going to say? No, don't ever call me. Then you just get us on the phone. So that helps you. Same thing with your mother-in-law's best friend or whoever it was you said, your mom's best friend. If you get one of us on that call, you don't have to defend It Works because you're still new. You're still new. You don't have to do that.
Okay, Khaleesi. I don't know what happened to her, but like she was saying, you don't have to. That's another thing. I think when talking to a person, in the book GoPro, Eric Worre talks about when you are using a third-party tool, you don't want it to be you. You want it to be something else. So when you're on three-way, you don't have to defend the business because sometimes some people are just going to ask crazy questions to try to stomp you, which, it's highly unlikely they're going to ask me a question that's going to stomp me. So if you want to bring them to me, that's fine. But, it gives you that peace of mind to know that you don't have to be trying to make excuses, not necessarily excuses, but defend the business. And at the same time, somebody that might be your potential might be able to tell just from how they're talking that they might not be a good fit for this business. So instead of you still trying to pursue, you might be able to just let them go right now. Because, I'm not going to force a person to join you. So if I talk to you and let you know how it goes, if you still get to a point, when you get to a point and they still are just like not having it, don't want to hear it, that's when it's time to just stop. Like, that's all you can do right now. This person is going to have to decide and change their mind eventually that they're interested in. But
her mom wants to join. She told me that she thought she was getting scammed because they were asking for her credit card information and all of her information, and like, wait until her, well, if they would explain it to me, I would have went. But I didn't want to get scammed, and I was like, well, you're not getting scammed. It's because they ask for your credit card information because they're going to bill you every month what you're getting, and you control what you get through the It Works app with the customer ID and your password. You put that in. You go and you put your password in your customer ID, and right there it's going to show what's going to be shipped next month to you, and you control what you have shipped to your house and what's how do you say it, charged to your credit card.
right.
And she was like, oh yeah, well, if I would have known that, I would have joined a long time ago. And I told her, that and we're always over there like all the time, so And she's like, oh yeah, she's like, give me a week, to get over this, and I will completely get back with you. I gave her all my information like that. I gave her a catalog. She looked at it. She said, yes, I'm totally interested. She's like, I'm gonna join. And her daughter-in-law.
Being able to explain it better, and also to me, just having people that validate the decision and let you know that this opportunity, what it can do for you, makes it better for people. And like I said, there's power in numbers. So when people say something, people are going to listen to you. Somebody that might be your friend, but might kind of take what you're doing a little bit differently versus somebody else, it just sounds different. So that's why I think three-way calls are really important.
Okay, yeah. And Lisa said it's what Dr. Pointer. She was like, well, I heard and had saying that's joined. And also reasons. Because I've been wanting to try it myself.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions or thoughts about three-way? And you can still use the three-way. It doesn't have to be a distributor. It could be a potential customer. Because most customers that are really going to need three-ways are ones that are going to be a little more green, that want stuff explained to them better. So sometimes, you might not know exactly what the product is going to do, but it's free. There's certain people that you might just want to call and get their input, or if somebody had a great testimony with the product, I would call that person and get them on the call. So it doesn't necessarily mean they have to be an expert, but they might have a great testimony able to validate whatever and be good on a three-way call. But so does anybody else have any questions or suggestions? Oh, my thing I wanted to say, I want everybody, because this is going to push you anyway, I want you to try 5 people that are willing to, 5. You can do 5 a day if you really want to do something.
Got a question.
5 people a week. Oh, what's your question?
So, if you have someone in your downline, how do you prepare them to do a three-way conference call? Because, like a lot of people, they might be nervous about it. So do you think that you should be like, okay, so make sure they have their questions of what they're going to ask this potential person? Like, do you think there should be a checklist of what you're going to ask the potential?
So when you say person in your downline, so you mean somebody that's newer than you?
Yeah. Just for anybody in general. Like, even for you. Like, if you have a newer person and they have a potential distributor and they're like, hey, I need to do a three-way, but they're nervous about doing a three-way. Like, how is this going to go down? I don't know. Should I be talking or should I just let you do all the talking?
Typically for me, if it's a newer distributor, then I usually talk the majority of the time. So that's kind of how we do things. If it's a newer person, like I said, if they're like pretty much in their first month or so, I'll probably, if they're in their first 60, 90 days, it really just depends on that person and what they have accomplished in that time. But typically I'll speak, and then once I start talking about some team-related stuff, about, how this is a good team because we're really supportive, I kind of bring it back to them to where they can speak on the stuff that they know about. I don't ever, make them feel uncomfortable to where, they're put on a spot. So I usually will just say everything, and then, because it's still like a training, they get to hear how I talk to a potential. So then maybe the next time, they'll be able to say most of the call before I get on, and then they just use me as that last reference, like, oh, I just want you to talk to my upline for a little bit. She's been really successful. Let's call her on the phone, you know? So like I said, to me, the whole point of the three-way, it's not necessarily all about educating that person. That just depends on where you're at in the business. If you're new, then you might just want to get somebody on the call soon. If you're not, you can do a lot of the explaining yourself at first, but then always maybe try to use somebody else that's going to be able to finish the call for you. But like I said, that also depends on you. You know, basically, like I'm gonna call it your sign rate. You know your percentage. You know if you've been having luck signing people. You know if you haven't. So that's when that should be a key and a red flag to you. If you're getting a lot of potentials, but nobody's just okay, I'm gonna join. Then you know that's like the time. Okay, I need to get somebody else in this call with me because maybe I'm not saying something right. So it's really like constructive criticism. Like Calicia said, she's not going to call you out on the call. I'm not either. But I might say something when we get done. Like if somebody was explaining, like Felicia was talking about, well, that's different. Kind of like if we're talking about a loyal customer and somebody says the word auto shipment, once we get done, I will go back and I will tell them I don't use that word because that's intimidating. And I'll let them know. I'll say either like, 90-day challenge or you need to buy a product for 2 additional months. But, there's just little key things that you learn over time. You don't want to probably say that because it kind of just turns people off, even though, it means the same thing. So other than that, does anybody else have questions?
Terry, what did you just say about the challenge, I guess you just said?
Oh, I said no. Like instead of telling somebody they're on auto shipment, you just say they're on a 90-day challenge.
Oh, no. Right before y'all started talking, you said something about a certain amount of people for three-way calls this week. I don't know. It was a lot of.
Yeah. I wanted you guys to try to get 5 people on a three-way call this week.
Okay.
So that means basically you're going to have to get 5 potentials that are interested in business that are going to be on a call, which is going to be, typically, it says typically this guy in this one book that I was reading, he was saying most people sign about, at the very beginning when they're kind of doing their business, you sign like 10%. So really, if you want to talk to 10 people this week, you probably should get 1 person that's going to sign. But, I'm going to just say 5 just because some people don't have any potential distributor, so I don't want you to go from 0 to 10, which, it just depends because like I said, me trying to push my business while I'm trying to help other people, it's just about becoming not necessarily relentless, but you're becoming fearless. So there's some people that I messaged today that I've never talked to that I've thought about it, but I was like, you know what the most she's going to say is no. And then we haven't been talking about stuff anyway, so it's not like she's really going to hurt my feelings. This is going to be a no, and you're going to keep it moving. But I just said, no, forget this. I'm asking her right now. So I just started talking to some people, or I made comments that I wouldn't normally make on people's status. If I seen somebody put like a motivating status up, I'm like, you sound like somebody on my team. But, that's something that I have just really been doing because, like I said, for me, I know what this opportunity could do to people. And for me to be shy or scared is really me doing an injustice to those that need it. So I need to just go ahead and say what I got to say. And if they say no, then they say no. But at least I put it out there, and at least they might just keep thinking about it because maybe right now just isn't their time. But they might come back, well, what was that business you were talking about? I think I'm ready, So
also, do we do the three-way call after we do the video, send them the video? Or
it kind of depends. I guess it kind of depends on the person. Most people do go ahead and send the video, and then, because when after the video is done, you have to do that follow-up.
Yeah.
So they might have their business partner on the call for the follow-up.
Okay, gotcha.
Because some people might not know how to react to whatever they're gonna say. Because somebody might, what did you like best? They could say nothing. And then you're going to just kind of be like, if you're new, you don't know what else to say. Just like, well, okay, then I guess we're done. No, we're not. So, I'll ask more questions.
Okay.
So, it just depends. Oh, well, this baby was knocked out when I got home. But, so, I hope that was helpful. And like I said, my challenge is for everybody this week to get 5 people on a 3-way. So, you know, I'm trying to think. The more the 3-ways are done, the easier it'll be for other people to be able to lead them and just be really confident. Because, like I said, you don't want to be on a 3-way where either of you can get put in a position that nobody knows the answer. Like, that's not what you want to happen. You want somebody to be able to, you know, clarify, justify something. You don't want to both kind of be in a state of confusion. So, you know, so when I say, you know, uplines, like I said, for me, I personally would want somebody on my 3-way call that has probably signed 10 to 15 distributors. So that's kind of my thoughts about that. But I guess if you guys don't have any more questions or comments, that's really all I wanted to talk about tonight, just kind of getting it out there and wanting everybody to do, try to just get more involved and going out there trying to get potential distributors as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this.